Good afternoon, my name is Chastity Davis, and today I will be presenting my PowerPoint on Lowe's Company Incorporated. So my first slide that's informational contains the company history, and it says Lowe's is a well-known and successful hardware company. Lowe's was founded in 1921. Its headquarters are located in Mooresville, North Carolina. The company initially marketed itself to professional contractors, but as it expanded, its audience did as well. And most of the company's growth occurred between the 1960s and 70s, though it's still not halted today. And the company actually has locations in 49 states within the United States. My next slide is on the organizational structure of the company, and it's broken up into two parts. I cover these parts more in depth in my company paper, but there's only so much that you can fit in a slide. So on the first part of the company, it's executive leadership, and this is at the top of the organizational hierarchy. And these positions that I've listed are the ones that are at the top of that section, if that makes sense. So we have the president/chief executive officer, the executive vice president of merchandising, the executive vice president and chief financial officer, the executive vice president of supply chain, and the executive vice president and chief information officer. And there are probably about 20 other positions within this section of the company, being that it is broken down into two sections. And then the next section is the senior leadership, and the positions I have listed in here are the president of online, the senior vice president and general merchandising manager of hardlines, the senior vice president of enterprise strategic sourcing and real estate, and then the senior vice president of store merchandising. And this branch actually has more positions than the executive leadership branch does. And it's actually a really good thing that Lowe's has so many positions available for workers, because that also means that customers will get a more pleasant experience whenever they're shopping, being that so many positions are tailored for specific requests customers may have. For example, you have so many positions that are just pertaining to online requests, and so a customer can really have an experience that is tailored for them rather than having one official over multiple sections that may not be as specialized and as in-depth in one section as they could be. So my next slide that I'm covering is on social responsibility, and Lowe's has made an effort to impact society in a positive way. And when defining social responsibility, it is the act of wanting to benefit society as a whole rather than just benefiting oneself. And so Lowe's does fulfill its social responsibility. And this may be seen through the company's website, because Lowe's has sought to not only establish connections with the consumer, but to educate them as well, which can be found through the numerous articles which are on the website. And then my next slide is the social responsibility continued, and this one's just going to elaborate and give specific examples of different articles on the website that you can find if you're interested in the certain topics. And so topics I found interesting were the ones on recycling, the natural disaster relief, and their support of the NFL military efforts. And so on this bullet point, I said they have a frequently asked questions article on their website pertaining to recycling and offer an in-store recycling center, which is true, because not only, and this really does help social responsibility and fulfilling that, because not only are they giving tips and answering questions on their website for those that are interested in recycling and working to help the planet and environment, they also offer an in-store recycling center, which is very beneficial because I don't think many places do that. And so they're really taking that extra step to not only educate their customers, but provide them this service that many places do not. And then I also said Lowe's had over 100 associates assisting those affected by a natural disaster in Dallas, Texas, which is also true. There was an article on the website about that, and I believe it was for a tornado, but it's still, that's very socially responsible because it's impacting that society directly. And then my last bullet point says Lowe's publicly supported the NFL's military efforts. And then the article which stated this also included that the company partnered with nonprofit military organizations in multiple states. And that's clearly good because they're partnering with charitable companies and they're not profiting off of it because it's a nonprofit. So it's just genuinely out of the good of the company. And then my next slide is on corporate citizenship. And Lowe's does have a portion of their website dedicated to their corporate citizenship, how they strive to be a good corporate citizen, and what they're doing to benefit society and customers and just the average consumer. And the main goal on that portion of the site was just that they want to provide safe and affordable housing to their consumers and just citizens in the United States, which is a great goal because, I mean, not many people are lucky enough to live in an environment that is safe. And so for them to put forth the effort and try and provide more people with this environment is always, it's very helpful. And then they also strive to educate consumers seeking out trade skills. My next slide is on their competitors, and Lowe's has many competitors. Their competitors include Home Depot, Target, Walmart, and many other companies. So what they have in common with these competitors are the products that they sell. And so while you would think that these stores are interchangeable and you can really get pretty much the same thing out of all of them, Lowe's actually separates itself from the other stores because it's ethical and it's sustainable, and they actually care about the consumer, which is rare for some big companies because I feel like a lot of companies worry more about profit and don't provide that extra loyalty aspect that Lowe's gets from its customers. And this is seen through the company's efforts when pertaining to corporate citizenship and their social responsibility, how they fulfill it. And this just creates that loyalty amongst its customers because people want to support something that is benefiting not only themselves but society and actually cares about the people that shop there, because people want to know that their money is funding good places and they want those places to be moral and ethical. And I feel like that's become more of a concern amongst consumers, is where their money's going. And I know personally as a consumer, I do want to contribute to the success of companies that care about my success and care about how I'm doing as a consumer and want to provide me with quality products. And that also is how Lowe's stands out against its competitors, is it provides quality products for a fraction of the price as other competitors. So, and that's actually covered on this slide as well. And this is the 4 P's, which are product, price, place, and promotion. So the first P, product, I have Lowe's offers thousands of hardware supplies and home improvement items within their stores. And price, Lowe's stands out from other companies as it provides consumers with quality products for a fraction of the price, which I just covered. Place, Lowe's distributes its products within the United States, and the store is actually located in 49 of the states, as I stated earlier. And promotion, Lowe's promotes its products through commercial advertising and consumer connections. And to elaborate on consumer connections, it's basically what we covered earlier with the loyalty aspect of it, is people are more likely to recommend products to their friends and family if they feel this personal connection with the company and they want to share their great experience and their pleasant experience with others, and they want others to experience the same thing. And so that actually benefits Lowe's because it gives them more of an audience as people branch out and tell others about it and want to spread the word about this company that's actually ethical and supporting that. And then my next slide is my conclusion. And it just says, in conclusion, Lowe's is a fantastic company to support. It is ethical and sustainable. It actively engages in fulfilling its social responsibility. It is a great corporate citizen. And lastly, it cares about the individual, which allows it to flourish amongst competitors. And the entirety of that conclusion is true, being that Lowe's really does put forth that extra effort to do for its consumers. And I'm very passionate about this company and supporting this company because prior to researching this for my company paper, I did not know that this company made the efforts that it did in order to benefit society and the consumer. And upon researching this, I'm definitely going to recommend this company to others and recommend that they look into it as well. Because anytime that I've shopped there, I've had a pleasant experience, but also learning that they do this stuff behind the scenes, that they're public about it, but they're not just doing it to seem like a good company. They seem like they genuinely care about their consumers and society, and that is something that I will gladly support. And then my last slide is just my references, and all of these references, while they're not cited within my PowerPoint, they are cited within my company paper. And so I decided to include them since I'm using the same information from my company paper in the PowerPoint. They're just not in-text citations. And okay, thank you. Have a nice day, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation.